Good morning. It is not Sunday again. It is roughly 10:30 a.m. So we've got 1 out of 2. This is normally the Sunday Club channel where once every week we do some Ruby on Rails live streaming. But it's Friday. It's Bank Holiday Friday, the 15th of April, and I regularly say on the Sunday stream that we should do some user interface design so that we actually have a user interface, because normally we don't, and we just sort of have to fudge a lot of crap together a lot of the time. So let's do it. I've got to go in a bit to go and have lunch with my family, so I thought we would just stream some stuff first. No follow up, no nothing. We're just going to dive in, and we're going to talk about what we are doing. So let me jump over to the other screen here. Let's get this going. Okay, so we got unable to connect. That's the best start we could have. Okay, so what do we got? What are we doing? We're going to use Sketch for macOS. We talked about that a little bit actually on the last stream because we were talking about design tokens. We were looking at the new what's it called? Like Vue component library we were using, and a CSS library called it's called Primer, which is the one from GitHub. And cool. Okay, so this is where we ended up with last week. So this is a bunch of UI that we grabbed just using their kind of built-in styles and stuff like that with like marketing, branding, and so on. And so these are the GitHub styles by default. And I was like, oh, could we style these and do some fun stuff? And we've done one of these before, so we had some rough styling. But I'd love to get some components together. We've got a component library now, and we've got Sketch, and it would be great to get some kind of generic components together. So let me see what I'm trying to do here. So just bear with me on the other screen while I get some stuff set up. And what I want to do is, hang on a second. This is taking ages. All right, maybe I can just skip. I don't know what's going on with that. All right, so what have we got? We have got a Sketch file here, which has the old user interface design that we did very briefly on a stream ages ago. And that was to give us sort of this idea of an admin user interface. It looks super rough, but what we were interested in was the component aspect of it. So what did we take from it? This is the one that we actually sort of ended up building. We had this idea of, just little avatars that you could have that represented your user and your organization, a little notifications bar. We were just kind of discussing through what components could be. There's the little like box that represented a logo, and how would this behave on mobile. We were talking about that on this idea of a drop-down menu. But we didn't actually, we built out some of these things, but didn't polish any of the designs. We're like, okay, well, these are components we could use. But now we have a component library, and we're kind of getting to the stage where we need to really sort of start building things out. Let's see if we can close some of this junk. No, I think we need most of this open. Okay. Yeah. So let's take a look. I think like another thing to mention here is, so the app that we're working on is a ticketing and event registration application. And the focus is around group tickets. That's sort of like the end goal that we've been working towards, which is why like this was just some copy I threw together on the stream. And one of the things that's important to mention for anyone who watches this is that this project is sort of just for the stream. There's no like product development or like normal market researchy stuff or any kind of like good product process happening. This is just a thing that we pick up every couple of hours once a week. So pick up every week for a couple of hours. So it's not like there is any cohesive like process or anything like like really well thought through behind this. So it's sort of just a project for the stream at the moment. But the goal of this is to get something live. So we actually want to have something, and I want to try and do an event or something where we get people streaming or do something. And so let's sort of dive in here. So I want to sort of take this as like, this is our admin area. This is all sort of fine, and we can kind of come back to this. This was just to sort of give us a structure. I want to take a look at the actual individual components like typefaces, buttons and stuff like that. And I would love to sort of build out a library in Sketch that matches our library in like our view component library. So I think we can start there, hopefully. So let's give ourselves, let's just call it components for now. I know we have a symbols page, but I think there might be something slightly different. So I haven't done this for a really long time, and I haven't done it using view component at all. And one thing that might be worth looking at is like primer, library, Sketch, Figma. Someone might have done this work from Sketch to Figma. It is primer, isn't it? It's like, that's Polaris. That's the wrong one. So it's like primer. Yeah. Okay, great. So do they actually have any design, mobile desk, interface guidelines, command lines? Oh no, that's just GitHub desktop. Primer mobile. I was sort of seeing if they had Sketch, like an existing Sketch library you could download. Because some of them you sort of get there'll be like a resources section, and they might keep a Figma file or a Sketch file or something like that today. I can't see one here, which is fine. That's installing. No, I think everything is there. But there is what do they have, like a storybook style thing, I think. So for view components, there was some sort of, there's examples in all of these anyway. So like if you go to menu, view storybook, yeah, there is a storybook version. Yep, so that's like what it looks like. And I don't think here there's any kind of, no, because you can use you're using the real thing here, so there's no major. But it would be handy if they had a Sketch file, because we wouldn't have to build one. The other thing that we were looking at was this idea of like design tokens, which I was really interested in. So we looked and they had a repository called primitives, like with design primitives that was like colors and typefaces and stuff that the view components library and the CSS library inherit from. And I was like, oh, it'd be really helpful if that could feed directly into Sketch. And I don't think it can. I think the color token, the colors can, but I'm not sure that we get everything else in. All right, so let's take a look. Let's start with button, I guess. Do we want an artboard for each one? Let's start with this and see what we end up with. Those two buttons. I'm kind of just going to follow this hierarchy. So button. Default. Okay, so let's just grab these to start with and chuck them in here. Okay, so this is the existing ones from the web. And then let's see if we can just rebuild those and adjust them as we want them. All right, it's been a while since I've done this, so let's let's go easy on me while I remember how to do this. Okay, so shape, rectangle. And I don't know what they're rounded by, but we can look up the CSS value. But we can sort of determine that for ourselves. We don't have to rebuild what's there. And then we can then sort of lift these colors as well, just arbitrarily. Sketching, okay. That's the watercolor, and then the fill color is this. Okay, cool. And then we want some text. This is going to say default. And we are also going to have this as that, and I assume that that's black. I actually don't know. And we can just drop size to match here. Again, we can figure all this out later. We're just trying to get it going for now. Let's assume. There we go. It's kind of a nice match. Okay, so we've built out, we can kind of group these now. We have a button there. And this is button default. Let's go and find button here, button component. Button. Scheme default. Okay, cool. So if we go in here and now have this. I wonder if there's like a naming component, and I don't think there's a way, if you're looking at the stream and these controls in Sketch seem really small. I did look into this last time. I don't think there's a way that I can make those bigger. I don't know if there's any like accessibility stuff that I can use. Let's increase accessibility. Just trying to see if there's anything for like people with or vision that you could be bigger, because obviously you can make the canvas bigger. I was wondering if you could make the. There wasn't anything last time to make like the actual UI bigger. Wonder if you just have to, if that's like a default OS setting and you have to change your OS setting altogether. Yeah, okay, fair enough. So if you're looking at it and this all looks really tiny, I apologize for that. But it is what it is. I don't even know what to search for. Size. Sketch, macOS, font size. That'll just come up with everything. Like. That'll just be about like the font in your designs. Yeah, okay. I couldn't find anything last time, so I'll find anything this time. Okay, so here we've got button component default. And what we want to do pretty early is also start setting some text styles, I would guess. So I don't know if there's anything. Let's go in here. So this is our list. This is our primitives list. Nothing with button in here? No, because this is just the colors. Okay, so it's actually in the. Then I think it would actually be in the. Library part itself that we're setting it. Oh, here we go. Color. Oh, they are here. Color button. Color button. Color button. Color button. Primary. Got any font stuff on here? Focus. Active. No. Okay. Let's sort of put a text style on this for now that matches the component name. So let's say button. Oh wait, how do I create button component? I not want spaces in any of these actually. Default. Yeah, let's just sort of leave spaces out for now as well. So button component default. So we've got component here with a with a text style that's used within it. So all the button components could start to be grouped like that. There is a way in Sketch of actually grouping these. So I think maybe this is wrong. Maybe it should be button component / default. Yeah, so you go this document button component. So maybe this could be the same thing. So this could be button component / default, which I think in macOS Sketch is like how they do hierarchies. That's so I'm really stretching for a memory there. So let's turn this into a symbol. Right, this is my memory of this is really crap every time I pick this up. The selected layers will be replaced by a single layer. A new symbol will be created in your document. Whenever this symbol is edited, all its layers will update to reflect the changes. So we're going button component / default, and it's got no layout. When you select a layout option, instances of this symbol will resize. Okay, so on layout here, we want I guess horizontally center layout, and then latch. Let's try. Oh no, let's try this one. And then this one is always where I really get confused. So send symbol to symbols page. Oh, is that a good idea where we want all of our symbols there, or because we're grouping them and we're having a thing called components, do we actually want to keep them on their own pages? I guess that's a case of, and I can't remember how to make a library, because I think then you can treat this document as a library that the rest of them can import from. Let's say no for now, and regret the shit out of that decision later. So I think this is a symbol that is not then represented on the symbols page. Oh, I've done it for the others. Fuck. Oh, there's only a few here. So how do you let's just take a quick default. So add as library, save as template. Add as library. Save your changes. This document to add as a library. Okay, so cancel this. So save this document. Yeah, save all of this. Save changes. So add as library. Okay. So now it's available in my workspace as a library. So I could then take the homepage out, take the logo out, take everything out, and pull this in as a library into those other files, which would be cool. Okay, so then maybe it doesn't matter that things don't go to symbols. And this page and everything can go off into other sketch files, which pull this file in as a library. Then when this one is updated, the others will inherit those updates, I think. No idea. If anyone knows any of this stuff, if someone comes across this because they're searching for like Sketch for Mac or something, let me know. Because I haven't done this in a really long time. And everything that I do like outside of this uses Figma. Which is like same area but different vibes. Okay, so let's then try and use this. So let's say in here we want to put a button, and we're gonna add something. We're gonna add a symbol, and we want a button component default. Great. Okay, so when we resize this, doesn't put the text in the middle. Oh, it does, but that text field switches. Okay, so let's take a look into that. So components button. So in here, I think we want to set the rules of this resizing. So this is not fixed size. I think it's probably fixed. Oh, no, hang on. I only want... Oh, how do I edit this symbol then? Create symbol. It is a symbol. Oh, here we go. Oh, wait. Is this now what I'm editing? Oh, okay, great. So where is... Okay, so this is an instance of that symbol. And this symbol here... How do I edit this? Oh, is this why you put... Is this why you send it to the symbols page? Send to symbols page. Okay. Because now I can actually go and edit it. So where's the button component? Right, okay. So that's there. Let's undo that. So here... These are instances. Well, that's not even a symbol. I have that, and I have this, which is an instance of the symbol. Detach from symbol to detach from contents, but I can't like edit anything unless it's here. Ah, it's over here. I'm an idiot. Okay, so it's just over here. So it's prototype up. Okay, so you end up with... Oh, interesting. So because it's its own little artboard, you end up with a little like shadow around it, so you need to keep it separate anyway. That seems fine. I don't know. So... Because you could sort of group them as they're grouped here. So like you could have one... Well, these are all components. So you'd have all those on one page. I mean, you may as well move them all to the symbols page, I guess. Because this, we call this one components and button. Would you have like a page for each component? Maybe. Let's leave this here for now. So we haven't moved buttons here. So components, button default, and then this is an instance of that. So in here, we can see where this is. We can go in here, tell it to pin the text to those edges, and that the text is center aligned. So then when we go back to our events index page, this should then stretch correctly like that. Cool. So let's do the same thing, but for... Well, let's duplicate this. But let's have this one as our primary. And so... Oh, so we probably want a layer style as well, right? So this could be button, component, background, default. And then here, we want to give it this green color, which we're not going to keep. That's what we're going to change right now. What the hell just happened there? Okay. And then we want to give it a border. This, and so it matches that. And so here we can say we want to give this a difference. Let's just create that style. This is an... And I've got a style called rectangle style. That's annoying. and this is primary. Cool. And then in here, we want to have this as white. And this becomes button component. Primary. So you end up with loads of like text styles, back layer styles, and then symbols, all hopefully following the same naming conventions as your actual component library. And so it's then just the diligence of keeping those two things in sync. Which I think is where that design token stuff comes in. That's where I got a bit lost the other day on that thing, but I think that's where that happens. So here we can go in and say, all right, I want to add a new symbol. I want to add a button. I want to add a primary button. And this one can live. Yes. So now when we make changes, and we don't want this button to look like this anymore, let's do... What was the color I had for this? I like this color. Oh man, that's so annoying. It keeps jumping out of... that, and then we can do the same for that. Keeps jumping out full screen is what I was trying to say. And then we can put a little darker edge on that. Cool. So now when we go back to the events index page, this should be saved. And you know what I would love, which I don't see very much these days. I don't know how feasible this is, but I would love to put a little texture on that. Because I miss the web of the mid 2000s and early 2000s, where everything had like a little noise on it. Do those default GitHub buttons really not have a little shadow? Because I love a little shadow as well. Everything's flat now. Where's the buttons? Oh, they're boring. You have an outline and stuff, but shadows are cool. I think they're really annoying when you have to... They have kind of a shadow, because this one's got like a little... Well, this one gets a shadow on hover, but only on marketing. Do the main ones get a shadow? No, they get like a lift-in gradient. I think there's probably some accessibility stuff around stuff like this, so probably being just a bit gung-ho. All right. Let's see if we can do it though. Let's say we want to do... It's probably a bit much. That's still probably a bit much, but we can come back to that. You could do that just on hover as well. You could kind of have them lift to me, I guess. Okay, let's keep going. Let's keep going. We're doing some stuff. So can we give this a texture? Fill for the background and let's grab this. We've got like, these are like built-in noise ones for, so you can upload your own noise, which you could do. Let's just see if we can get this one going to start with. So let's do that. This. You have to bear with me. I'm sort of trying to build this without. So let's do. Which way around would these go? You sort them over like that. Okay. And you can give them like can you give them like a blend type on this? Just gonna make that like super tiny to make the noise really noisy. I thought you could have a blend type on this. So you can definitely make it like semi-opaque, so there'd be some noise there. I thought you could. Oh, here we go. Okay, so image and then color. So image, we can then do like that. Okay. That's actually not awful to have like a little noise on there. Can you see that? I don't know if it come through on the stream, but there is like a little noise on the button. I bet that has like zero effect in reality. You probably crank that up a bit. Just to make it a bit less like, oh, everything's flat. And you could do a gradient and the noise. Because I think you could in CSS put you'd set like the base color as the background color. You could generate a tileable image that was the noise, and then you could still set a gradient, I think, that would, and I think the browser would lay that over the top, I think. So yeah, it's extra it's extra data that you're sending down the wire to get the gradient, to get the noise on there, but to get that mid-2000s feel, why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you, huh? I can see it a little bit. I'm gonna crank it up. I actually really like it. Oh, I'm into it. I mean, that's just like the base noise, because you can get like a gray. That's got color in it, that noise, so it's actually affecting the stuff. But you could get. Can we grayscale this as well? I don't know if can you have like an effect layer in there if we do another one. Ooh. Oh, that's actually. Oh yeah, God, I missed 2006. Look at that. Actually, if we just take like the whole thing. So make. Okay, so set the alpha of that as nothing, and then the other one set as full, but set the opacity of the layer as like nothing. Oh my God, look. Shit. Oh, look. Love it. How'd you get... what's the thing for the grid? That's that one. Oops. It's not that. There's like, must be view... We haven't got the grid on, so this one must be like a helpful grid because of the zoom. Show pixel grid on zoom. Okay, so Control X and Control G. Control G off, Control X off. Okay. Oh, look at it. Okay, that is a bit too much, but I do. Oh my god, I love it. Oh god, I miss building websites like this. All right, so let's tone this down. Let's find a hybrid between, because this is if you're worried that we're not going to keep this, don't worry, we're keeping this. We're just going to tone it down slightly. So we're just going to turn the noise down a bit. We're just going to turn the gradient down. That's flat. Just going to turn up a little bit. And then we just need to turn that shadow down a little bit, I think, as well. Let's turn that down to like 30 and maybe just a bit less blur. So let's see what we end up there. It's still a bit oppressive, but that's actually quite wide. So, and yeah, the shadow can still go. I think the shadow can just lose the blur altogether. Okay. So then I think you've got to remember to update. So because we're using a symbol, that's fine. But if we were to use it, I think we've got to remember to update that layer style as well. Cool. Okay, so here we can have these two buttons, and one of them is like, oh yeah. So here we could be this could be like cancel. And this one could be save event. Pretty cool. And they kind of stretch out. So yeah, maybe we could just tone that down a bit. I've gone a bit 2005 on it. I actually don't remember if that was the year, but Dribble basically all everything. Oh no, look at that shadow now. You've got to have that blur. Maybe maybe pop the blur up. Just the lightness down even a bit more. Okay, maybe if we give them all the shadow, it wouldn't look too bad. Or we give none of them a shadow and have the shadow on lift as you put your mouse over. We'll figure that out later. We're going to build these out at some point. So this was the buttons we had before previously, which are just with rounded rectangles with text in. And then here you can see we're starting to, but these currently match our, oh fuck, what's it called? Primer. These match sort of the primer styling, so we could start to put these in. So how would we do this? Let's take our primary button, for example. So let's start to actually join. Let's sign in. And I think it's like this one. Yeah, cool. So let's go to our admin page. Maybe that one. Great. Okay, so here we've got a primary button. Let's grab our border color from here. Add background color, layout, change that. Minimum width, allow overrides for different thing. Oh, actually, that's cool. So you can not allow overrides of the background color. That's pretty cool. We can turn those off. And so let's go get these. Our border color is this. And what we sort of want to start working out is what are consistent colors. Are we going to use that everywhere? I think the answer might be yes. So right, so these are here, and then we had somewhere star sheets primer variables. Okay, great. So in here we chuck this and this, and we have dash brand like brand color primary or something like that. I mean, I generally, sort of generally, if it's ours, I use. If it's in the app, I generally use the British spelling because it's just like decades in, I still spell it with the U every day, so I don't see why I want to. And then what we want to do is find out what the actual variable we're swapping out is. And I think it's the primitives we were overwriting, or maybe there's another layer in between. But I think for color button border is what we're actually swapping out. So color border. I have no idea if this is how we do this. I think this is what we did the other day, and then color brand primary. And color brand primary is, I think I took that from Bootstrap a while ago, and then this part here can go. So does that then give us blue borders, blue color on this? I've also done the wrong one, have I? No, color button border. So we've got to wait for Webpack to do its thing. Zoom in a bit. No. Okay, cool. See what's happening here. Color, background color, border color, bar, dash, dash, color, dash, button, primary, dash, border. Oh, because this is primary. Okay, sorry. I didn't check that. Color, dash, button, dash, primary, dash, border. Okay. Great. Okay, so that has worked. So this is what we're doing. Basically, we're going to map the changes we make here, the changes we make there. Now, I have no idea how we're going to do that. But for the moment, we could do the color as this one. So this is color button primary background. I'd love to know if this is the way you're supposed to do this. So if anyone watches this, and says that's not the way you're supposed to do this with to set these colors in the in Primer. I'm very keen to do it the right way. So I don't know and I don't know if I am. So all right, okay, so this button should go blue. Kind of into the idea. Oh, that's the wrong blue. That's very dark. 2C617C. Oh, it is lighter. 2C6176. Yeah, okay, sorry, 6. Is it just... And it goes lovely green on hover. Okay. Kind of want to get that texture working, to be honest. Could we... Don't quite know. I guess you would do this. And then... Because you want to be able to reproduce this, so do you sort of... Let's make a little artboard. Let's just see what happens here. I want to make a little reproducible square of that background. I want to grab this layer. Oops. I want to grab this layer style. Well, can I just copy this layer? Paste it here. I don't want the border. Oh, well, maybe I do, and I could just drop those out, because then I can keep relying on the style to stay in sync. We can just move these out like that. How big is this? This is 32 by 32. Fine, okay. So then here, I want to layer that blue on top. So I want that. So that's now my noise filled image. So if I export this, make exportable, one PNG. So this is button, component, primary BG, just trying to keep the order of those the same everywhere. So let's sort of save, just save that in the root directory for now. No, I've really gone down a rabbit hole, but I really want that texture. So this is going to live somewhere. This is going to live in assets images. Let's see if we can get it. Because I haven't done anything with the asset pipeline in this app yet, I don't think. So this is going to move to app assets images. Maybe it should have moved to JavaScript, don't know. So can I access this from here? Let's find out. I'm assuming there are no image asset paths in here. Or I guess you could base 64 it and do it that way. Like, could you just put the whole thing in CSS? But I'd rather keep the CSS file smaller and then just have it fail if that asset doesn't load. Because then you've just got a blue button rather than having to balloon the size of your CSS file. Let's see if we can do this. Okay, so here we've got an image. And here we want color button primary background. So can we do this? I can't even, isn't it like that? Okay, let's Rails use asset path for Webpack style sheet. Using Webpack bundled assets with the Rails asset pipeline. Okay. Webpack all the assets, CSS assets in third-party libraries. I think this is all the kind of thing I'm trying to describe. Maybe I just put the file in. Okay. Handling images. Here we go. To handle images with Webpack, we also need to import them inside our application.js pack. We can import each image manually, or we can tell Webpack to import all the images inside a directory. So this is what we've done for our CSS variables already. Using the image, like Sprockets, Webpacker is configured to add a digest by default for the emitted files. To render an image tag with a Rails helper, we have two options: image tag plus asset pack path. That's or image pack tag, but that's in the final rendered code. Can we use it like with an import? Okay, we're going down a rabbit hole, but I think to get the texture on that button, it's going to be totally worth it. I think I've got to leave here in like half an hour, so we're going to see if we can get the. We're in like the hybrid Rails macOS sketch world, but we're trying to get this onto the back of our button. Have we got any CSS coming out of our... Yeah. All right, let's see what we can do. We're gonna try and get this file here also in there. Okay, so we've got the same one. And then in Pack's application, we're gonna do... what did it say? Something about require context, image is true. Okay, so done that. So we think that Webpack might know where that image is. So then when we're in here, when we're in there, how do we get it? We store our cat.image app assets. Using the image like sprockets. I want to use it in the CSS though. Oh, holy shit. This is like so annoying. Okay, I'm gonna like import my image from blah blah blah. This is why I just dislike having Webpack stuff, and I'm so excited to get rid of it. I just want to have one asset pipeline. And just like, at least if it messes up, I know I can just use one thing. Okay, so let's check. So primary, let's say like some URL, so we know that this is then like failing. Let's get our failure first. I'm loving this blue button. So this can now get reset, I think, so we can turn these back on. I think that one is adding white to the top even though it's off, so I think we probably want that to be black. There we go. And I can't remember whether... That's it, that's better. Cool. So do we now have it trying to add a button var, color background, button var, button primary, and does it tell you what it's attempted to set that to? I think they're down at the bottom, aren't they? I'm looking for that line where I've tried to set it to something. Color button primary background. It's just that green, and then it's ignored this one, but when I set it correctly, it worked. Okay. So what happens if I set this to like a valid image path? Let's go and get like Lorem Pixel or something. Okay. Right, I can just use this. So is it like, have I got the right syntax for that? So like set image as background and CSS. Background dash image. Can you not, but are we not just, okay, so is it not using a dash background? Is it using background dash color rather than making a background and setting it? And even then, can we then just do overrides like this? I can't remember what it actually generates. Button dash primary. And then that one can go. Because maybe here we can then just set our image and we're only trying to get a path in there. So let's see how that does. So you want to see a picture of a dog as the background of this button. Or at least a failure. Button dash primary. Oh, it's not trying to load this at all. It's not trying to load this at all, but it was. Don't know if that's just to be a string. Maybe it's just because its syntax is broken. I should look at what the actual syntax here is. It is as a string. Okay, maybe it's just because it's broken. Maybe Webpack just bails out if it gets an error. Okay, great. So we've got could not load the image, but we have got the right thing here. Okay, so could not load the. Oh, it's got space in it. Okay, so could not load the image, but I think that's just because it's cross origin. It's not allowed to. So copy URL. Do you get a picture? Yeah, you're just not allowed to do that. Okay, great. So that's fine. So now we just want our picture from here. So how do we get it? So if we go. Copy relative path. Something like that. And this is what I'm confused by. I don't know how this is going to work. Like, is Webpack going to generate that for us, and will it work if it does? There was like stuff in the logs. Okay, so. So we know that they should be trying to do something because we've just seen that URL fail. Maybe it's like that it needs to be. Let's see if this is getting generated. Is anything coming back there? What's happening? 404. Okay, no. Assets images button component primary bg.g. And that's in both of these. So what happens if it's not inside a folder called assets? Nope, we're still getting a 404 there. But there was, is there any logs from, can't resolve assets images. Okay, so it's trying to resolve that itself and failing. Here, can we go? No. Could we do... I don't know what you can... Dash images. No, because we're in a SAS file, so we don't have import here. So anything already needs to have been built by this point. But it's... Oh, it is emitting... Okay, so it is emitting our asset here. But we can't... I don't know how to get at it from a SAS file generated. Okay, so it is emitting it. But I don't know what magic incantation I need to put in this to get at it, which is really annoying. I think I could use it from here. So require context image is true. So it's loading it and it's spitting it back out. So I'm going to just have a quick Google around. Using Webpack bundles with Rails asset pipeline. I don't really know if this is what I'm looking for. App JavaScript, app JavaScript packs, app JavaScript pack tag, blah, blah, blah. How to access assets with Webpack. Rails use asset in SAS. Style sheet. Input styles. No answer. I can find the CSS config. Not even sure if it's the right question. I'm just skimming through really quickly. I'm looking for some SAS that shows where it's grabbing an asset path from. Oh, maybe like this. But that's in the JavaScript, so I've already done that. They're available. I don't know what the question was, but it says surely there has to be a better way, and the first answer is not really. If you don't want to make your insanely long explain so pure blah 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 blah. Oh man. Okay, maybe this is not tenable. I only want... Oh, God. This is the state... Like, I'm so glad Rails 7 is backing out of this and back into just using sprockets, because, like, I just wanted some texture on the back of a button. Is that genuinely this hard? Style sheet, blah, blah, blah. I just... Oh, fuck it. Okay, we can't have that for now. Fine. Fine. All right, we're doing one of the next streams. Maybe Sunday is removing Webpacker from the Rails app. Maybe we'll just do that on Sunday. All right, let's we'll come back and get texture later. We'll keep it in the sketch file because it's exciting and fun. So back to instance. We've got our cool buttons. And what did we end up with here? So we can do our blue. So let's just do that and do that. It's a bit dark, but we know we're going to put our texture in here. And then so is there any kind of box shadow stuff? No, so maybe we have to add that ourselves. So can we do that here? It was something like this, I think. See if that gives us our little shadow. Here, I think. Hello in the chat. All right, so let's see if we get... Got a lovely shadow. Okay, cool. So we can then... We can maybe start to just use some of the tools that we get with this. So can we have... Like, is there a hover for the button primary? Does it have all that stuff in? Color, button primary... Hover background. Okay. Let's do this. There's this. So this is all color button primary. Color button primary hover. But do you get in here access to any thing that was available in here? Like they had a bunch of tools for like darken and stuff like that. Are they being used in here at all? No, because these are just the primitives. Oh, are these the generated primitives? And then there's stuff. That then got... Yes, okay, these were definitions, and then these had methods that you could use, right? But you could build... Okay, yeah, okay, great. So then you could build... your own little SAS darken method, like the ones that... Does that have any of that built in now? Let's see, yes. Darken, is it like a... Use lighten and darken in SAS. Oh, maybe that's a built-in function. So maybe we don't need to worry about it. Darken color amount. Amount must be a number between 1 and 100. So what happens if we just do darken... whatever the background color is. Do you have to do var like that? And then 10%? No idea if that works. Let's see if that works. So we expect like a darker blue when we hover over this button. But then we've got to reflect that in our sketch file as well. So maybe that's where we sort of need those color tokens and design tokens to match. That has not worked. Does this need a % sign? Just said amount. So yeah, I think it needs a % sign. Can't wait for it to refresh. Oh, okay. If I got just check everything's right there. So color button, primary hover background, darken. Do I need var there, or can I just do that? Because that's a CSS variable rather than a SAS variable, but I don't know what's getting passed in there. So let's see what happens. See what's actually getting generated as well. Kind of learning some stuff about CSS variables, which I started learning about last week. So what's actually coming out of here is the hover state. Button primary hover, background color var, button primary hover background. Color button primary hover background. Color button primary hover background. Yes. And that equals darken. Oh, okay. So that is... not generating a new value there. That's just being passed through. That's just being passed straight through. No, because we're looking at the source file. So that's like, it's okay that we're seeing that because we're still only seeing was RGBA stuff. Okay. What happens if we were to pass this through? I'm trying to work out what bit's failing. So if we did this, it's this 6 one, isn't it? Let's see if that generates the correct value. I want to get Webpack on as well because I'm hoping that fixes this refresh reload time as well. No, okay, cool. So that's actually still not working. So that's good. That means it's not the variable that's not working. This is now spitting out darken. Okay, so it's the call to darken that's not working. Okay. Because darken is usually not the best way to make color, it's not directly included. Okay, so it can be written color.adjust. So maybe color.adjust is what we should do. Sass color, color.adjust color. Adjust hue. Okay, I'm gonna use color.scale instead. So color.scale that. I don't know what lightness is. O36 has lightness 20%, so when darken subtracts 30%, it just returns black. I'll try this. I'm just learning about what this is. Maybe darken's not supported. Maybe we need this. No idea if that's... No, I don't even know what that is, but I'm excited to find out if it works. Or maybe we just pick the color in Sketch and then just copy and paste it over. We don't rely on the magic of... No, okay, that's not working. Okay, so we can just pick a color. So that's sort of what the primitives repo is doing for... Oh, that's my stupid watch. Sort of what the primitive stuff is doing for... Did that fail because it had 2 things on the end? No, I'm not really even getting any error messages about any of this. Okay, fine. All right, let's get back to Sketch and pick a nice dark blue for hover. So here we can go back to our library. And presumably we can... have like primary hover. And then this... So primary... updated. This one can then... be darker. And we can just slap that in here. And then hopefully this one should then just work because it's just a color now. And we can work out how to override it. Button text color should be changed to black in color. Button text color. You mean... This one? Because the default one is black at the moment. This is just our primary one. So we've got black on the default button and then white on the one because the background one is white. The background color is darker. But we could put a little drop shadow or something on there. All right, cool. So that's now working. Okay, so I'm basically learning what we have access to in that SAS file and what we don't. Maybe it's not the worst idea to have to sort of put them in Sketch and figure it out. We could probably do the gradient in here, I would guess. There used to be like little CSS gradient build thingies. Creator. From back in the day. Jesus. Lots of cookie pop-ups. So these are like this one we want see-through and we want it to be cool. And then which one's the bottom? This one, I think. Something like that to then get this. See if that adds a little gradient. Yes, this one is black. I think if we make it black, the doing Sketch, I think the background will be too dark for it. Like the contrast ratio might be a bit off. Maybe even darkening the background and make that text pop a little bit more. All right, let's see what we got here. We got a okay, that has not worked. I need them to be oh, I can't remember how to do that either. There's like this is all CSS stuff that I haven't done in a long time. Okay, so the gradient is now working, which is very exciting. A box shadow and a background. Oh, I see. So our background is setting that. Oh, I can see. So if we then have set the background color as the correct one, that's our blue. I'm not actually sure how to get the actual value now. That is like brand color primary. I have to get back into here. Let's try this. That's not what I was looking to do. Totally broken both of that. I totally broke it. Oh, screw it. Okay, I can't remember how to get that, but with the transparent background over the top. So I'll come back to that. That's like a whole memory hole. I used to, again, like back in the day, this is all the buttons used to have that cool stuff on. All right, cool. So let's get back to here. So we got default and primary. So like danger and outline, invisible and link. Because these ones are just kind of, okay, I think we're just going to default and primary for now. We can come back to do the other ones. So in here we got these. They're inconsistent, but we're not going to worry too much about that. So we can start to swap these things out. So these ones were like shorter and squatter because they existed within these panels. Let's see what other components we want to build from the list. I guess we want to do those marketing text ones, right? because that's what we had for our homepage. But they're not in here because they're only in the CSS library, not the view component library. Okay, so sort of go give this a bit of a try. Right, cool. So I like this. And we could do like a big image over the top, and then whatever this ends up being could be our marketing font style. So this is Proxima Soft as a type font. Because I wanted this to be like a really like when we finally do start putting some actual polish on this, I want it to be like quite like friendly and like non-tech app stuff. Let's grab some photos. Let's do that crowd. Can we just do like a... that's a bit cliche, but I guess it'll work. I'll do for now. And then we had copy, right? We had stuff on our little homepage here. So let's see what that looks like in this brand font thing that we're trying to pick. Yeah, so that's sort of like with Proxima Nova, it's like quite join your team, event registration, and event ticketing for team events. The typo in it. I like that. Event registration. Team events. Yeah, so team events isn't really like a crowd. So maybe if we search for something like team. Nope. Okay, we just go and look at Unsplash to get... Oh, it's all going to be like business teams, isn't it? It's team sport. A team of people. Okay, I love that one. Team sport crowd. That's not bad. That's, okay, it shows more than one person. It's not quite what I'm looking for, but that's pretty... That's the back of a guy's head. That's kind of not what I'm looking for either. Yeah, that's sort of the right vibe, I guess. We can go and look properly on Unsplash, but I was sort of hoping something would just pop up. Okay, amazing. This looks fun. This looks fun and stupid. So then what did we just have? We had this thing with a typo in it. So let's copy this. I've got to go in a minute. So I'm going to come back and do some more of this because I've really enjoyed it because it's just dumb and fun, something to do on. That's not quite as cool on the subtext. So that's kind of more fun in the UI than it is on the branding text. I actually preferred that big and bold. But maybe I think it kind of pairs well. So where is center there? Let's fix the typo as well. We're here. Registration. Yeah, I actually don't like the marketing copy in that as much. I think I do anyway. Do I want to? Let's just chuck. Just a dark wash of that, and just we could have like a cool. This could be white, and that could be white as well. I don't know. We could kind of figure that out. That blue doesn't work over that either. Yeah, so I don't really like. So this could be. Like harder. Yeah, maybe the big cover photo isn't ideal either. You could have something like just bolder colors that sit against the white, I guess. Because I think that actually looks cooler. What happens if we do that as like a bolder thing against the... it looks better smaller. I actually, yeah, okay, so I quite like it smaller. Maybe there's like a maximum size that font like would go to, and then you'd extend it. Like everything above that. Like that's a bit more friendly, and then this could go back to being whatever it was, like this, like super friendly. And then maybe there's like a I mean, you don't necessarily even need that on the... I could sort of go and live up here or something. And then what did it say? It was like find your team or something, wasn't it? Join your team. This could be massive. Yeah, that's not got a lot of... doesn't really make a bold statement particularly, I guess, even if you tighten it up. No, I like the... Oh, maybe there's like a super... Okay, I'm actually not against that. Maybe that is just really friendly and I'm just used to being yelled at when I go to a website. Maybe that's like, hey, welcome. You know, this is just vibe-based stuff. And what I quite like about this is because this is just for the stream, we don't have to like worry about any real stuff. It's all just fun. But then you could easily have like cool images of like groups of people having a bunch of fun. I think you don't need the full stop if you're like find your team as well. That would be cool. Find your people. I don't know, some nonsense marketing stuff. That's probably a bit too thick. No, maybe not. That's super thin. Oh, very business. How? Oh my god, I wish I did this for a living. This would be so fun. All the designers I know are super stressed because they have to do this at like lightning pace, but I would spend 3 days just dicking around with font faces and stuff. See, I think that that's actually pretty cool. It's like more... Okay, so let's switch it out for like... That's pretty cool. And then what about the default, like the system font? That's what it is at the moment, I think. That's actually not outrageous. Because it's just quite yelling at you, but then kind of softening it a bit there. And then you could have call to actions, buttons and stuff. So we could go on Unsplash and find some images. I gotta go because I gotta go and see my family. But I'm gonna come back and do this some more because it's super fun. And it's not like coding where there's like stuff to trip you up. The only bits I haven't enjoyed of this morning's stream is the bits that involve Webpack, which is super annoying. I can collapse this down even more. That could all just get so much smaller. Yeah, cool. And then you could have, like, what would the... Oh, really? Oh, wow. You are so good at this. Well, keep going. Oh, okay. Amazing. Maybe I should be doing this for a living. I'm loving that in the chat. Okay, someone hire me to do that. I'm kidding. I couldn't do this for a living. This would... it's... Yeah. I work with a lot of designers and they're all very stressed, like I said. So please, please don't make me do this for a living. It's fun when you do this. Okay, I'll grab this in the same group. All right. Okay. So I want this one to pop out. We can do what with. So this one would be like, you know, so I was trying to work out from this. The reason I was pulling this one up is, would you use that soft? What is that still character compressed, or does it just need expanding? Yeah, so I don't think you would want that soft everywhere. I think it only works like bold headings. So I think everywhere else you'd either want like, I think maybe you, so you don't want that as bold. So let's go to like, like that. But would you even want that, or would you stick with like SF Pro, which is like, that's the closest thing I have. I don't think that's exactly the same as SF, like San Francisco, the default macOS font, but it's not a million miles off. So maybe you would just want, I'm just using that to represent like the base OS font. So what would you have here? You'd have like contact us. You don't put us anymore, do you? Just put contact. I am designing websites from 2005. Put I don't know, what do people have? Like pricing. Although no one puts that anymore because they refuse to tell you how much anything costs. They put blog or news or something like that. Picking some stuff just to try and flesh this out. Yeah, I think you'd keep those as, what are they, 18? No, that's the line height. Just make that auto. Why have they all got a height? I cocked up the... Oh, they're all fixed. I don't want to fix any of it. Is there a new line in there somewhere? I don't know why they have a height. I don't think it matters, I guess. But I don't know why they have one. They should just be the size of the text that's in there, shouldn't they? Anyway, this all looks fine. You could kind of figure that stuff out later. All right, we're going on Unsplash. Okay, I've got to go. I really have got to go. I'm going to come back. I'm going to be gone for a few hours, so maybe I can do one of these later in the day. I don't know, because I really enjoyed this, and I don't know what I'm doing tomorrow. No, I have to go. All right, I'm going to knock this on the head. Thank you so much for people who dropped by in the chat. anyone who found this useful. If anyone knows how to fix any of the Webpack stuff I bumped into, please let me know, and we will. I'm going to bring that image back because that might be handy. That's actually kind of cool having that little offset section. Could we have like? Like, if in doubt and if in lack of time, just use like geometric shapes to get you out of a hole. Like, can we do stuff like... organized team. Sell your tickets, blah, blah, blah. Like, whatever the heading would be, there'd be some marketing nonsense. And then that could be like bold and bigger. Maybe that one could still stay rounded. Like Proximus. So yeah, maybe that one could be... can these lose? Do they have borders? Yeah, we can take those off. You know, just a visually, like that's a super quick way. I mean, that sort of looks a bit messy, but like, these then, you just want them to scale without changing that font size, but that's, it gives you visual, like, and you could start to color some of these maybe, like this could have a hint in it. What's our color, like blue? Like a blue or blue, something like this. That's more purple. Yeah, like that. So you get a bunch of visual breakups without having to do a lot of work or think it through. Right. Okay. Lots of stuff in the chat. Okay, cool. Thank you. I can't keep going right now because I got to go, but I super appreciate it. I'm going to come back and do some more of this another time. I don't know when. It'll be pretty ad hoc. You can follow the YouTube channel, follow Twitch stuff. There's usual Rails stuff on Sunday morning. And thank you very much for everyone who has dropped by. Have a wonderful Friday and have a great week. I will see you all later.